26.2 is here. We've got those dumbbell overhead walking lunges, dumbbell snatches, and progressively harder gymnastics going from pull-ups to chest to bars to ring muscle-ups at the end. 80 feet in 20-foot segments on the lunges, 20 dumbbell snatches, and 20 reps of the gymnastics each time. Generous 15-minute time cap, but we saw in the announcement show that it can be a bit of a trap of a workout if you start off too hard. So how should you approach this? The key is going to be to identify your limiters or the bottleneck for you in this workout. Is it the dumbbell weight? It's just heavy for you. How do you tackle that? Is it the overhead position on those dumbbell overhead walking lunges that's going to slow you down? Or most likely, is it going to be the gymnastics? Either the pull-up or the chest to bar or the ring muscle-up that's going to be the crux of the workout for you. Now, if you're going to quarterfinals, it's going to be the ring muscle-ups. And the whole idea with this is, how do I get in good shape to the movement that's going to limit me the most? Now, yes, you might be an athlete who's just going for your first pull-up, your first chest to bar, or your first ring muscle-up. If that's the case, make sure you go online, look at some tutorials on these movements, really focus on practicing the skills. This is a very repeatable workout, so you can try multiple times, and just give yourself as many opportunities as possible to get that first repetition. But let's say that you can do these movements, and let's say, for argument's sake, that the muscle-up is going to be your limiter. There's few things to consider. One, there is going to be the tiebreaker, which is going to be the last set of dumbbell snatches. So if you think you can't get any, it makes sense to go really fast, go really hard, get here with a good tie break time, and then you have plenty of time to try. There's nothing to lose. If you think you're going to get some reps in here, you're sure of it, you need to think about pacing, and we're going to talk about that. If you think you can get through the whole workout, you really need to think about pacing so that you can get to that muscle up in good shape, because the muscle up is going to be the workout. Everything else is just a prelude. It's just going to be preparation. Let's break down the pacing opportunities movement by movement. So the first one is going to be the single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge. And the big consideration here is going to be the cost of the time and attention in proportion to that dip on those ring muscle ups. So what can you do? The better your position is going to be, the less each step or each second under tension is going to cost you. So if you have a bent elbow and the dumbbell is on the side, that's going to always cost you more than being locked elbow and nicely stacked over your spine. So we need to think about that in your warm-up. The second thing is the speed of movement, so how fast you're moving. You do not want to be doing the lunges slowly, and oftentimes the poor position goes together with slow lunges. And especially with that combination, the thing you really need to think about is, how will I break those lunges down? It is much better to move fast and take a break, maybe change the arm, and then move fast again, than to move slowly and to do a long set. So, in summary, for the dumbbell overhead walking lunge, you want to be in a good position, you want to be moving fast, and you want to take breaks appropriate to your ability to move fast in a good position. So great position, moving fast, you can do a big set. Poor position, moving slowly, you have to do smaller sets. So you have to find, within those parameters, you have to find the right strategy for yourself. Next up, the dumbbell snatch. We have three things to think about here: the grip, the breaks, and the movement speed. With the grip, are you going to change the dumbbell in the air, or are you going to change it on the ground? If you change it in the air, it's going to be faster, but it's going to cost a little bit more for your grip. If you change on the ground, you're going to save some grip, but you're going to move a little bit slower. So if you're worried about your grip, at any point in the workout, you can always switch to doing the change in the ground. Yes, you'll be slower, but you're going to be also more confident in the gymnastics. It might be a good idea. The next thing, are you going to break the dumbbell snatches into sets? Yes, it's only 20 repetitions, but for a lot of people, again, if you're going for your first muscle up, you want to get there in good shape. So you might want to consider breaking these down into 2 sets, for example, 12 and 8, 10 and 10. You get a little breather in between, you get to rest your forearms, rest your grip. It might be a good idea. And then finally, the movement speed. We saw in the announcement show that Miriam was moving very, very fast, maybe too fast, and that might have cost her. You want to move at the pace that you normally move. Don't try to change something. Don't go faster, don't go slower. Just move at the pace that you've been training for the past weeks, the past months, the past years. It's probably going to be the best pace for you, and most importantly, it's going to be the pace that's going to carry you to the gymnastics. One more thing to consider for the dumbbell snatch is, are you going to do muscle snatches or these power snatches? The benefit of the power snatch is that it's going to be a little bit more efficient if you have a good rhythm in these, but of course the cycle time will be faster on the muscle snatch. Finally, we get to the gymnastics. So you did a good job on the dumbbell overhead walking lunges and the snatches, and now things are looking good. The temptation here is this: 20 unbroken, 20 unbroken, and you fail your first muscle up. Or you do a small set, you struggle, and then it gets to be singles. We don't want to see this strategy. So either from the beginning or by latest on the chest to bars, you want to think about, should I break these down? Maybe 12-8, maybe the classic kind of 8-7-5. Notice these descending kind of patterns, they're much nicer than equal sets. You could also do 4 sets of 5, 5 sets of 4. You get the picture. The key is that on the simple gymnastic bar movements, taking a break does not cost you so much time. Yes, it's faster to do 20 unbroken pull-ups or chest to bars than to break it down into sets, but if you keep the rests to 3 to 5 seconds each time, this is hardly going to slow you down, even with the longer rests. Remember that you have 15 minutes for this workout, so even if you do 20 times 1 on both of these movements, you will still have time to finish the muscle ups if you get there in good shape. But if you go unbroken and you get the muscle ups and you're exhausted, you might not get through them, even if you have capacity to actually finish the workout in good time. So consider breaking down either from the beginning or by latest at the chest to bars, because the main important thing is to know what is my bottleneck and how can I get there in good shape. Now, here's the trick to this workout. Just like last week, you want to run your own race. And again, that means getting here in good shape. Don't get caught up with the athletes around you. Don't get caught up chasing somebody else's time. You can get your own best performance by thinking about all of these movements, how to approach them, have a smart strategy on the gymnastics, and then trusting your technique here on the muscle ups, even when you're tired. This one is going to be a fun one. Good luck.